Hey there, everybody. It's Josh from All Roads Lead to Rome. Thanks very much for joining me again. This is my second video on the channel. At this point, as you can tell, it's quite sort of ad-libbed. I have a rough idea of what I'm going to say, but there's not much production value just yet. Hopefully in the next few months things will improve, but I really just want to start this channel by getting my ideas out there and hopefully inspiring some people with Italian and with languages in general. So it's a bit rough, it's a bit ad-lib, it's kind of just how I'm feeling at the time. So things will improve down the line, but the most important thing is the message of the video, right? So that's where I'm starting. My second video is going to be taking you through something a bit more practical with the Italian language. So this is going to be for you if you're interested in actually starting to learn some very basic Italian. And I'm going to take you through a really interesting aspect of Italian culture, which is il caffè, coffee. As I'm sure you well know already, coffee is an integral part of Italian culture, and it's very different from what we're used to here in the Anglophone world. So if you grew up in the UK or the US or Australia or wherever, it's very different. So we obviously have all these chain cafes like Starbucks, Costa, Caffè Nero, etc. In Italy, it's very different. The culture is much more traditional, small, family-owned coffee bars, and the way that they drink their coffee is very different also. So whereas we in the UK or the US would go into a Starbucks and order a big old like cappuccino, something like that, in Italy the standard coffee measure is a single espresso. So if you go into an Italian bar and you ask for a coffee, you will be presented with a single espresso in a tiny little espresso cup. As far as I know, this is the norm in most of Europe, but certainly for Italy, this is how they operate. Obviously, cappuccino is an Italian invention, and there are lots of other options, obviously, for coffee. The flat white, interestingly, doesn't exist in Italy. It's not really a thing. And you'll also notice that a cappuccino in Italy is a lot smaller, more similar to a flat white in the UK actually. It's a lot smaller than our cappuccino here in the UK and the US, especially in the US because they like it, like them huge over there, among other things. So in terms of Italy's coffee culture, if you want to walk into a bar, any Italian coffee bar, whether it's at a train station, the airport, in the middle of the city, in the countryside, wherever it is, they're absolutely everywhere. They're kind of the equivalent of pubs in the UK. They're absolutely everywhere. You will see a sign outside saying bar, B-A-R. In Italy, that means a coffee bar. It doesn't mean a bar you can get alcohol at. It's purely, they obviously have those kinds of bars as well, but bar in Italy means coffee bar. So when you walk in, you'll probably notice first of all that there's usually, unless it's a slightly bigger establishment, there's not going to be much seating around like a British cafe. It's not quite the same vibe. There's going to be a bar, il banco, a bar. You're going to go up, you're going to order your coffee. You'll see the Italians ordering their coffee, their espresso. They'll down it within 5 or 10 seconds and leave. It's a very quick process. Obviously, if you want to, you can sit down. That's what the seats are there for, obviously. And you can have a cappuccino, a larger drink, and something to eat with it, like some sort of pastry, sweet pastry usually for breakfast. And you can sit and enjoy that for as long as you want, obviously. But I would say 70 or 80% of the time, Italians are going in there for a quick espresso, quick coffee, and off they go to work or to wherever. So in terms of going into a bar, taking that first step, have the confidence to just go in, try out a bit of Italian. They may say something back to you that you don't understand. That's fine. I'm sure you'll wing it. You'll get through it. You can reply in English. It doesn't matter. The point is that you're taking a step and building that confidence to actually just use Italian with an Italian. And I think it's really important to get out of this mindset of failure versus success with language learning, because ultimately all of the things that you mess up at, that you fail at, they're what's going to teach you. So if you go in and you have a horribly English accent in Italian or whatever, and they don't understand you, or you use the wrong word, or you say the wrong word for hello, honestly, it's part of the process. Just take it as part of the process. Don't think, oh, I have to be perfect, I have to get this exactly right. It's just part of it. If I go, I'm relatively fluent now, but if I go to Italy, you can bet I'm making mistakes pretty much every time I speak. So I wouldn't worry about it. And I'm at a point where I don't have to use English in Italy, and I'm still making loads of mistakes. Sometimes not understanding what Italians are saying to me. It's just part of the process, and that's how you build up to actually get to a decent level, a conversational level. So all that out of the way, what do you say when you go and you want to order a coffee? I'll give you the simplest version first because I'm assuming no prior knowledge. So let's just go with that. The most informal standard greeting in Italian is ciao, C-I-A-O, ciao. I used to think that this only meant goodbye before I learned Italian. It actually means both hi and goodbye. So you can start off with a conversation saying ciao, and you can end it saying ciao. So you walk in, you say ciao to the barista, and you say, the simplest way to do it is say prendo un caffè, per favore. So prendo un caffè, per favore. That literally means I take a coffee, please. The Italian language is very direct and quite literal. So whereas we in England might say something a bit more polite, like good morning, could I have a coffee, please, or something like that, the Italians are very direct. It's basically, give me a coffee, please. And that's fine. That's their culture. It's much more open, much more direct. No one's going to be insulted. That's just how they speak. It's normal. So I'll run through that again. So just say, ciao, prendo un caffè, per favore. If you can't do the rolled R's, don't worry about it. It's fine. Just say something like, ciao, prendo un caffè, per favore. They'll understand perfectly. Don't worry about it. So prendo literally means I take. Un means a. Caffè, coffee obviously. I take a coffee. Per favore, please. Per favore. And you can probably see there the literal translation of please, per favore, is kind of as a favour, for favour kind of thing. It's like that's kind of the literal translation. If you want to make it even simpler, you could simply say ciao, prendo un caffè, grazie. Which is hi, I'll take a coffee, thank you, because you're just assuming that they're going to obviously serve you. Very simple, very informal, and that will get you through 90% of interactions you have with a barista behind the bar. Now they might say something back to you where they ask if they're clarifying if you just want a normal coffee, which is a single espresso. So they might come back to you and say, sì, certo, yes, of course. And they might say, normale, normal. They're asking you if you want a normal single espresso. If they say normale, you just say, sì, grazie. They might also say in the same tone, they might say liscio. Liscio means the same thing, just means a normal flat single espresso, so just say sì, grazie. Often in Italy they'll serve you a small glass of water with your espresso. This is just to kind of wash down the flavour because it's obviously quite strong. I have heard in places that it's insulting to the barista if you drink the water after the espresso because it means you're trying to wash down the flavour and the coffee's no good. I don't really know. I tend to have a little bit before and after. I wouldn't worry about it too much. No one's watching you. You're not going to be that strange foreigner sat in the corner who can't order coffee properly. So don't worry about it. Don't be self-conscious. You will either get still water or sparkling. They might not give you a choice. They might just give you one. But if they do give you the choice, they'll say something like, I won't confuse you. You might hear a few different words, but the ones to listen out for are, so water is aqua, A-C-Q-U-A, aqua. And normal still water is acqua minerale, usually, mineral water, acqua minerale. If they offer you sparkling water, they usually say acqua frizzante, acqua frizzante. They might also say acqua gassata, gassata. So, and you can just respond with whatever one you want. Just say minerale, per favore, or frizzante, per favore. And that is about it. And then obviously at the end, once they serve you your coffee, which usually takes not very long at all, tops 30 seconds, a minute, you simply say grazie, ciao. That's it. You can add more things if you want. If you want to say, have a nice day, thank you very much, see you later. You can obviously use different phrases, but I'm assuming no prior knowledge, just keeping it as basic as possible for now. Literally, so when you walk in, ciao, prendo un caffè, per favore. Or ciao, prendo un caffè, grazie. And then when they serve it, you say grazie, ciao. If you want to add a little bit of spice on the end, if you want to say something like have a good day, thanks, have a good day, goodbye, you would say for the coffee, grazie, buona giornata, ciao. Literally means thank you, have a good day, bye. So have a good day is buona giornata, buona giornata. Just wishing someone a nice day. So I'll run through it one more time, don't want to confuse you too much. When you walk in, ciao, prendo un caffè, per favore. Or ciao, prendo un caffè, grazie. They may come back and say normale or liscio, and if they say either of those things, just say sì, grazie. They're unlikely to say anything else because you've already ordered pretty directly what you want. So they'll probably just say those two things. They might ask you about the water, just quickly again. Still water, just listen out for the word minerale, and for sparkling water, listen out for frizzante, and sometimes gassata, but you'll probably hear frizzante a bit more. And then finally, in order to say thank you, goodbye, you simply say grazie, ciao. Or you can say thank you, have a nice day, goodbye. Grazie, buona giornata, ciao. And that is it. That is really it. You can just memorize those few phrases, and obviously you can use those all throughout wherever you go. Now, most Italians, if they can tell you're a tourist, which they usually can, either by your accent or by the way you look, or Italians have some sort of internal Italian measuring system. They can usually tell a mile off, especially if you're very pasty like me, that I'm not Italian. But you can use those phrases anywhere. You can say ciao, you can say grazie, per favore, you can say buona giornata. And then with the water and the coffee as well, at restaurants you'll start to pick up these words as well. When a waiter offers you water, when you see it on the menu, when you see different coffees, you'll be seeing these words all over the place and hearing them all the time, and you'll start to get used to them. And yeah, I hope that's been helpful. Obviously a very basic start to understand a bit more about the coffee culture. Maybe I'll spend just 30 seconds talking about that quickly in a bit more detail. So, as I mentioned, single espresso is the normal measurement. Un caffè is a single espresso. If you want a cappuccino, you can obviously say, instead of prendo un caffè, you'd simply say prendo un cappuccino, per favore. Prendo un cappuccino, per favore. You might have noticed I'm putting a slight pause, a slight emphasis before the P in cappuccino. The reason for that, I don't want to complicate things, but just so you know, the reason for that is that in Italian, when you have two consonants together, the sound is elongated slightly, which is what gives it the melodic, stereotypical Italian sound. So instead of cappuccino, there's a bit of a pause, and it's cappuccino, cappuccino. Another example is the word, let's just say the feminine word that everyone knows for beautiful, which is bella, B-A-L-L-A, bella. If there was one L, it would be bella, bella. But there's two, so it's bella, bella. It's just a slight elongation. Don't worry about it too much. But that's just to give you an idea. So espresso, un caffè, cappuccino. I mean, there are other options. You can have iced coffee, un caffè ghiacciata. I don't want to complicate things, but just so you know what it is. What else is there? You can have I usually get a double espresso because I like coffee. I usually get, so you would say, prendo un caffè doppio, per favore. Doppio just means double. Prendo un caffè doppio, per favore. Again, notice two consonants, two P's, and slightly longer sound, doppio. Prendo un caffè doppio, per favore. What else? I think that's pretty much it. I don't want to confuse you too much, but I hope that's been helpful. I know it's quite scatty and unorganized, these videos at the minute, but I'm just sort of getting ideas out there. It'll get better as we go. I hope that's been useful to you. Please leave a like, leave a comment if you want, nothing hateful please, and subscribe if you wish to watch more content like this and learn a bit more about Italy's amazing language and culture, and I'm sure some history and stuff at some point. And yeah, hope to see you again soon. Grazie. Ciao.